Hello, welcome back. Today we are going to make a delicious crock pot Mexican casserole to commemorate Cinco de Mayo, which is coming up this week. The 5th of May is the Mexican Army's victory over the French that took place back in the 1860s. And it's a great celebration, and so why not celebrate that with a great Mexican dish? All you need today is some pre-cooked meat. That can be beef, as I have here. It could be ground beef, it could be ground turkey, it could be chicken. Maybe you've had a rotisserie chicken or leftover pulled chicken. You could use pulled pork in this recipe. Any meat will work. We're also going to use corn today, and I have an ear of corn that's been cut off the cob. You could also use frozen or canned corn. We have black beans and pinto beans. This combination is delicious. We have a can of RoTel tomatoes, which are diced tomatoes with green chilies, a little bit of chipotle sauce, which is just delicious in this recipe, and just a small can of tomato sauce. We also have our own seasoning mix, which we'll talk about, an avocado at the end. We're also going to add some corn tortillas, and we're going to add shredded cheese to the top. We'll also dress this a little bit with a garnish of diced tomatoes and chopped lettuce. Let's get started. Our recipe today contains a great spice mix that you can make. I want you to remember when picking out spices for Mexican food to be super careful buying them commercially from the store, because the pre-prepared ones are very loaded in sodium and they also have other artificial ingredients. This Mexican fiesta, for example, if we look at the label, it's very misleading because it says it has 50 milligrams per serving, and the serving is only 1/4 of a teaspoon. Most of these recipes would probably require 2 teaspoons or more per serving. Ours is extremely low in sodium, and I highly suggest that you make it. Okay, everybody in the pool, as they say. We have added our meat, as you can see on the left, the corn. We have both of the beans as you're moving around the circle, the tomatoes, the chipotle sauce, the tomato sauce, and now we're just going to sprinkle across the top our seasoning that we made. I'm going to stir this all together, and we're going to put this crock pot on, or Instapot if you choose to use. We'll stir everything together, and this is going to cook for about 2 hours or so, and then we're going to add some strips of our tortillas and some cheese, and put the lid back on for another half hour or hour. You know, crock pots are all different in the way that they cook, so it's just important that it's fully heated through. Okay, so it's been 2 hours or so on low. Everything's looking really good, cooked down well. So now we're just gonna take some tortillas, and we just chopped them up, and we just cut them in small strips. You just stir those in. You can see that they'll thicken it up pretty rapidly just from the starchiness. And then of course we add our couple cups of cheese to the top. Put the lid back on. You can add as much cheese as you like. You can add way more than that. You can also stir some cheese in and then add more to the top. Let that sit on low or on warm until the cheese melts, and it should be ready to eat. Okay, so the cheese melted. Have a nice serving here out of the crock pot. I put a little sour cream on this. You could do salsa, whatever you'd like. Obviously pairs well, as we said, with a little bit of the avocado and a little maybe lettuce and tomato and a couple of chips. So let's just give this a try. Bite here. I really like a little sour cream with it because the RoTel tomatoes have a little heat. So if you prefer to have a little less spicy dish, you could buy the RoTel that are mild, and that would make a difference. And the chipotle that I added, that the recipe will tell you 2 or 3 tablespoons, that also adds a little bit of heat. But I have to tell you that the corn and the beans and all the flavors are just fantastic. Give this one a try.